So imagine the most Christian person that you ever know. And if you're Christian, don't feel offended by this, but there are Christians who understand that in this world, there's good and evil, there's a balance between everything. And there are those that think that they are so special, they are so clean, they are so pure that they are on the extreme end of the good and wouldn't budge for any other reason. Imagine that kind of person. That's who I had to meet and confront and beg in the end when I was guarding two people having a make-out session.
Bruh.
Yes, hilarious, but it happened. Well, was it hilarious? In that moment, no, but looking back on it, yes. Thank you so much, angels, for joining me again today. I can't believe, as I'm recording this right now, I have 2 views on my previous video. I don't know if you can hear my voice, how excited I am, because 2 people actually watched 1 minute. The average view time was about 1 minute. 1 minute of what I had to say. I'm beyond excited and elated. Thank you so much to those 2 people. If you are watching again, thank you so much to also 2 subscribers. I wonder if it's those same 2 people, but I posted 4 videos. Anyway, I'm rambling. You might reach it from the previous story. If you don't, I'll put it in the card here. We came back to school after that vacation and she made sure to remind me every chance she got over that little carrot she had dangling over my head. It made me even realize that if this thing went to the principal, would I actually get into trouble? Because, well, that would turn into a whole snitch fest, and the fact that I'll have to admit that I was cheating during exams is going to be a no-go, and she also reminded me of that in case I was having any thoughts about it. So it didn't happen. One of the main rules, as I said previously, is no physical contact between the 2 opposite sexes. No way. And just so that she had become closer to one of the boys that was in our group. I don't even care for his name because that's how much he did not mean to me and he was annoying. And because of that situation, wanted to make sure that I'm intimidated. He and his friends hounded me so much. They leveled up on the dirtying of my bed, sprinkling food on it, making sure that I never had access to the iron, and ensuring I knew my place and kept me belittled. I didn't really mind that because that's part of high school life, and I'm not really the one to make things a big deal, especially when I have a stick in it. I am very, very calm when it comes to being backed into a corner. They had gotten close and they wanted to express that love. If you've gotten close and you know that you're coming to a Christian school, why can't you just wait till we get back home to do that? I don't know. But she wanted to solidify it so much that one day she just came to me and said that, you, speaking English, I want to have a make-out session with this guy. Find a place and make sure that we don't get caught. And it's so silly back then, but the way she did it, I was shook. And I made sure to tell her that after I do this, she can't hold that over me again. If she did, I'll actually get her back. I waited for a few days and it was a Saturday communal recreational time. Basically a time that the whole school comes together, because if I didn't explain it at first, we had a very tight schedule for everything in school. Everything was timed, everything was put on the timetable. So we wake up at 5 a.m. We know that it's cleaning till 6, then eating, then church in the morning. I told you that we had church every day. So classes, everything was put together. So by the time we had time for ourselves, we were always tired, wanted to go and sleep. And that Saturday, we'll have general cleaning, like what happened in the previous episode when I caught my friend watching Pagon.
Bruh.
And after the cleaning, we have quiet learning time that we have to learn for ourselves. Then afterwards, it was the Saturday communal recreational time. We all come together and do something. Sometimes it's gospel shows. Those things were so boring and annoying. But a few times they were also nice. I'll give it to them. Sometimes they were interesting. And I thought that would be the perfect time to organize these things for them. I had to find out which seniors were on duty, which ones were kind enough to excuse it a bit. Some were cool like that. And these people were not the ones on duty today. I knew 3 of them personally, and the 4th one was the girl that I mentioned at the beginning. She was... there was just something off about it. I was able to sneak them into an empty classroom because all communal activities were done in the school hall. We started heading towards the room. I could see her watching us, but because there was a washroom in that same location, so I screamed back, washroom, washroom, we are going to the washroom. And after she turned back, we went to the washroom and I had to spy and see if she was still looking that direction. After she turned back towards the program that was happening, they were watching some movie I don't even remember. We snuck into the room. And in hindsight, when we're in that washroom, she could have just come in. No one was there and no one was coming. If anything, because the washrooms were next to each other. I am not smart. Now that I'm thinking about it, we could have done that. The washrooms are next to each other. So we could have easily made them go into one washroom. When someone is coming, I'll do a very loud sneeze, like I say, and straight. The other one will go into the other one, or they'll all just come out so that they both came out from different washrooms. That's all. They will go. But I made them go into the room. I didn't see what they did. Like, honestly, didn't care. Or I just told them that make sure that they're not in the view of the camera, because there were cameras in every single room. They were doing their thing, and I was giving them the signal. These people didn't come out. The love deprived senior pushed me. I never knew for a small girl she has so much strength. Pushed me and barged in. When she barged in, she saw these people there, and jeez, she was. First, she didn't say anything. She was walking straight to go and report us to a teacher. I didn't know what to do. I was freaking out because there was no way I was going to have this on my record. There was just no way. I had to rush to her, go and plead with her. And for someone who is so religious, the one thing I was able to use to get her to keep quiet was my food. I had to bribe her with my food. Because I told you that it's shared accordingly. You don't get extra because gluttony is a sin. We were always hungry in the end too. Even though we complain about it, we want to overfeed us or else we become lazy. Can you imagine? They were withholding food from us. But I had to now give up my food for 4 weeks, a month. All the vital, okay, not the food, all the food per se, but all the vital components of the food, like the grilled chicken, when we had some nice beef, something. They tried for the food at least. They gave us good food. All those, I had to give it to her. And that's how I was supposed to save us from getting expelled. Having to do another sacrifice for this dragon face ritual. That's it. I want to keep it brief this time. So that's all. Thank you so much for listening. And the advice is, if someone wants to go and smooch or do something in their corner, allow them to do it on their own. Don't let them put you in a situation that will make you do this. So from the beginning, if you're a goody two shoes, stay a goody two shoes throughout high school. Please.